再会か。
僕らはもう犯罪者だよ。今相手にしている敵は僕らを食べようとしてくるから殺すわけじゃない。考え方が違うから。いや、所属が違うってだけかも。それだけで命を。
アルミン、
僕らはもういい人じゃないよ。
Just downstairs from where the scouts are sitting, their commanding officers are torturing a man to learn what he knows about the government's shady dealings. This scene comes from Season 3, Episode 2 of Attack on Titan, and it has always stuck with me. To share a somewhat embarrassing anecdote from my personal life, Attack on Titan came out when I was in 6th grade, and I was that cringy anime kid in school. I remember pitching the world of Attack on Titan to my classmates, asking everyone if they would join the scouts, the garrison, or the military police were they real. I'd sing the first opening at my locker. I'd have literal dreams of myself flying around fighting titans in ODM gear. And while nostalgic and perhaps a little melancholy to look back on, I think I may have been onto something. AOT is over. The final season, Part 3 of the series, the musical Ultimate Edition, is done, and has been done for well over a year now. And having been a manga reader, I can say I was pleased with a few of the changes to the ending, but anything short of a complete rewrite was never going to satisfy me. I was curious what longtime anime faithfuls were going to say, and in anticipating their response, I once again came back to that scene from Season 3. Believe it or not, there were a lot of longtime anime fans who hated Season 3 when it came out. They cited a departure from its monster-killing origins as a betrayal of the series' premise. This is Attack on Titan, not Attack on Human. I know that sounds like a caricature of a brainless consumer, but it is a very real piece of criticism that I saw being expressed commonly when Season 3 first aired. And in retrospect, it makes me realize I wasn't the only one who thought of AOT as high school Monster Hunter with grappling hooks and Hogwarts houses. And really, how can you reconcile that view of the show with two people going all medieval on a guy in a dingy basement? Well, you can't really, and that's the point. The basement teaches us that everything we've previously been told is a lie. The world is flourishing outside the walls, and paradise is nothing more than a prison island that will surely be wiped off the map with time. The story isn't about humanity rising up to face an alien threat, it's just humans killing humans due to prejudice. The characters in AOT are similarly left to grapple with their new reality, and this ultimately leads to the formation of the Yeagerists. The most reactionary of the Eldian factions, the Yeagers believe the only option to free the Eldian people is to militarize and wipe out anyone perceived as a threat. Simply put, they are a group of nationalists who worship Eren Yeager, believing him to be a George Washington-like figure in Eldia's war against the enemies across the sea. Shinzo Sasageo, what was once a battle cry representing humanity's collective efforts, is now co-opted by the Yeagerists as a statement of loyalty, sacrifice, and a nationalist symbol. And yeah, we've drifted very far from the playground discussions at this point. But quite frankly, I absolutely love this section of the story. Post-basement reveal to just before the rumbling is peak AOT to me. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I predicted the basement reveal. I didn't. But I certainly did catch on to quite a few of the subtle hints Isayama planted throughout the first 3 seasons, warning us about the degrading morality of the Islanders. From sacrificing one's life becoming a normal, even glorified affair among the scouts, to Armin's not-so-subtle reflection on what it means to kill another human being, it has always been clear to me that AOT was building towards something, that the questionable morals and military practices of our main cast was not something to be ignored, and this is shown brilliantly pre-rumbling. Military obsession led to a fascist takeover. Armin and Erwin once said that it was necessary to become monsters in order to lead, and it's exactly that mentality that led to villains like Eren and Flock committing the atrocities that they do. And yes, Eren is a villain. I've seen way too many people list Eren among villains who were justified. I remember maybe 10 years ago, holy shit, I'm old. I remember about 10 years ago, there was a popular trend where in an act of prehistoric rage baiting, people would cite X character did nothing wrong, with the originator of this trend being Griffith from Berserk. And of course, the Twitter comments would be loaded with people being angry that other trolls were arguing on behalf of the poster, and you kind of get it. But see, that was a meme. And it was a meme because everyone knew that it was rage bait, and no one in their right mind would actually believe Griffith, who's done all of this, isn't a depraved individual. We got some good shit posts, some cool video essays, and all in all, it's a fun little moment in the fandom to look back on, but motherfuckers are serious when they say Eren was justified, and that should scare you. So, although I feel insane for needing to explain this, I will anyway. Genocide is intrinsically unjustifiable. It requires a lack of discrimination when selecting targets and is inherently dehumanizing. Even if you wanted to argue Eren is targeting enemies, the show goes out of its way to demonstrate how there are confused and innocent individuals perishing at the hand of the rumbling. Eren kills 80% of the global population, and without even getting into the ecological effects that Eren trampling across the globe would realistically have, 80% at the time of the story takes place means Eren killed around 1.6 billion people. 1.6 billion. Eren is not just a bad guy, he is the worst guy. Comparing him to other genociders isn't even close, and I'm not saying it's all a numbers game that a higher kill count equals more evil, but let's just say Eren certainly isn't behind any of these guys. Like, keep in mind, this means Eren crushed millions upon millions of newborns to death. Like, what are we talking about here? And okay, an Eren defender will say, sure, genocide is bad. But, and that but's doing a lot of heavy lifting, but what about his motivations? What would you do if you were placed in Eren's unwinnable situation? And man, do I love this question. So first off, let's get something straight. Eren's motivation is probably not your motivation. Eren freely admits in the final chapter that his motivation was not about the Eldian people, it was about saving his friends and breaking the curse of Ymir. This is trash on so many different levels. Like, just to be clear, from a narrative perspective, I really wish Eren's motivation was just that he was an evil authoritarian overlord who was radicalized by the military at a young age and eventually led a violent crusade in a twisted pursuit of personal freedom. That's badass. And it ties into all the themes of the story I previously mentioned, with his defeat perhaps representing a new chapter in Eldian history, one in which they refused to perpetuate the violent systems that caged them and that they themselves later adopted. But no. Eren committed super mega genocide because he wanted his handful of friends to live happily ever after, despite some of them being figures of questionable morality who perhaps don't even deserve that. Everyone kind of knows this is a sorry motivation, which is why people pretend Eren actually cared about the Yeagerist movement, and say him killing everyone was to protect the Eldian people. So, okay, let us truly consider this scenario. Is it morally justified to kill every population on the planet who is racist against you? Did you have to think about that question? If so, please do me a favor and place yourself on one of these appropriate watch lists. I was shocked to learn that a lot of anime outsiders know AOT as that one show with a lot of neo-Nazi fans. But I guess it also makes sense when you consider who is actually giving this question any thought. Actual minorities don't think like Eren. He is how neo-Nazis and fascist groups think minorities behave and have accordingly decided that they must stoop to the same level in order to fight for the perseverance of their ethnicity or whatever makes them feel like they're in a movie. More than anything, where the ending went wrong was offering even the slightest partial redemption for Eren. The very attempt to redeem him throws into question the much more serious themes and realistic historical parallels the show has been alluding to. It kind of ruins Armin questioning if they are still good people when I guess the show's official response is, "Don't worry, Armin, you shouldn't be a good person. Instead, commit atrocities in the name of the race, go forth and leave none alive, care not for the innocents, for their crime was being born weak." But to end this video on a serious note, I wasn't exaggerating before when I said a lot of people outside the fandom literally know AOT as the fascist one. I think that's a shame and that they honestly need to look deeper. It's also hard to blame them when you have people unironically arguing that Eren the Baby Smasher 3000 did what was necessary. And if you find yourself frequently arguing that X person did what was necessary, well, here are those numbers again. Is genocide really the hill that you want to die on? Thank you for watching. God bless, and have a wonderful night.